you're probably losing money without realizing it. And it has nothing to do with choosing the wrong stock, buying at the wrong time, or even falling for a scam. It's something much more basic. So basic, in fact, that most people skip it, and then wonder why their investments keep getting derailed. It's the lack of an emergency fund. Yeah, I know. Not the sexiest part of personal finance. But here's the thing, it's not supposed to be sexy. It's supposed to save your entire financial plan when life goes sideways. And trust me, life will go sideways. Not if, when. At the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why building an emergency fund is step 0. Before stocks, before crypto, before real estate. You'll also know how much you need, where to keep it, and why skipping this step could cost you tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Let's get into it. Everyone wants to invest. That's the exciting part. You get to watch your money grow, check charts, feel like you're making progress. But investing without an emergency fund is like going on a road trip with no spare tire. You might be fine for miles and miles, until you're not. Imagine this. You've just put $5,000 into the S&P 500. You feel smart, responsible, like you're finally taking control of your money. And then boom, your car breaks down. The repair bill? $8,400. You don't have cash on hand. So what do? You pull money from your investment account. But because markets dipped last week, you're selling at a loss. Oh, and you're under 59 1I2, so there's a 10% penalty if it's in a retirement account. And don't forget the taxes. Suddenly that emergency just cost you $1,400, plus $300 in penalties, plus another $200 in taxes, plus all the growth you would have earned if you had just left the money alone. That's the real cost of not having an emergency fund. It's not just about being unprepared. It's about breaking your investment strategy before it even begins. Think about every successful investor you admire. They didn't build wealth by reacting to every financial surprise. They built a safety net first. That net gave them the confidence to invest long-term, even when things got messy in the short term. Because the truth is, your investment returns are only as good as your ability to stay invested. And staying invested means having the discipline to leave your portfolio untouched. No panic selling, no sudden withdrawals. No breaking the compounding machine just to cover a dental bill or a rent payment. And that discipline? It starts with cash. Not a credit card. Not a personal loan. Cash. In a boring savings account? Ready for action. Sitting quietly in the background, doing nothing. Until it becomes the most important account you have. So how much should you actually save? That's the question everyone asks. And the answer isn't one size fits all. But there is a smart way to figure it out. Most financial advisors recommend saving between 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But let's unpack what that really means. It's not 3 to 6 months of your salary. It's not your total monthly income. It's your bare minimum survival number. Rent, food, transportation, insurance, utilities. The essentials. Not the Netflix subscription, not the $200 dinners, just what you need to stay afloat. So if your core expenses are $2,000 per month, your emergency fund target should be between $6,000 and $12,000. But what if you're just starting out and that number feels intimidating? That's okay. You don't need to build it overnight. Let's talk about Marcus. He's 27, recently started his first job, and wants to start investing. He's heard about index funds, dollar cost averaging, even crypto. But he only has $700 in his savings account. And no real plan if something unexpected happens. Instead of jumping straight into investments, Marcus takes a step back. He sets a small, realistic goal: build a $1,500 emergency fund. He cuts a few expenses, sells an old bike he never uses, and sets up an automatic transfer of $100 every payday. 3 months later, he hits his target. That's when everything changes. He's no longer nervous about his car acting up. He's not living paycheck to paycheck. He starts investing, but now he's playing offense with defense already covered. That's what an emergency fund gives you. Freedom to take risks without being reckless. Now, you might be wondering, where should you keep this money? Here's the trick. Your emergency fund should be accessible but not tempting. The goal isn't to make money with it, it's to protect yourself. That means keeping it in a high-yield savings account or a money market account. Something separate from your day-to-day checking. You want it liquid, available within 24-48 hours, but not so easy to touch that you'll spend it on concert tickets. Avoid locking it into stocks, crypto, or even certificates of deposit. Because emergencies don't care about market timing or maturity dates. You need that money ready when life calls. And here's the mindset shift I want you to have. Your emergency fund is not dead money. It's not sitting there doing nothing. It's doing the most valuable job possible, buying you peace of mind. Protecting your future decisions. Making sure you don't undo months or years of investment progress because of one unexpected bill. Think of it like your helmet in a race. You don't wear it to win. You wear it to make sure you can keep racing if something goes wrong. And without it, one fall can end everything. So if emergency funds are so important, why do most people skip them? The answer isn't ignorance. It's emotion. Emergency funds feel boring. They don't spark excitement like watching a stock double in value. They don't make for flashy headlines or viral TikToks. You don't see people bragging. Hey, I've got $8,000 sitting in a savings account doing absolutely nothing. But here's the thing. Emotion is exactly what makes them powerful. Because when the market crashes, or you lose your job, or your landlord raises the rent, emotion takes over. Fear kicks in. And that fear drives people to sell investments, abandon plans, and make decisions they regret for years. An emergency fund is your emotional buffer. It protects your mindset as much as your money. When you have that safety net, you're not panicking. You're not reacting. You're staying in control. And that's where real wealth is built. Let's go back to Marcus. Now that he has his $2,500 saved, he feels different. He walks into work with more confidence. He starts investing, slowly, methodically. No FOMO, no pressure to chase quick returns. Just steady progress. And guess what? 6 months later, he hasn't touched his emergency fund once. But it's still there, waiting, just in case. Like a silent partner, always ready to catch him if life gets rough. That's when investing becomes powerful, when it's built on a foundation of resilience. So what happens after you've built your emergency fund? Now the fun begins. This is the moment where your money can start working for you, without the risk of having to pull the plug every time life surprises you. You can set up automatic investments, start building a diversified portfolio, and let time and compound interest do their thing. You'll make better choices because you're not investing out of desperation or fear. You're investing from a position of strength. That one habit, saving for emergencies first, becomes the launchpad for every other financial win that follows. So let's recap. You don't need $100,000 to start investing, but you do need protection. You need a buffer between you and chaos, a pause button when life throws a punch. And that buffer is your emergency fund. Build it before you invest. Respect it. Don't touch it unless you absolutely need it, because that quiet little account might be the reason your wealth survives the next storm. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and reach more people. And if you're ready to start investing after you've built your emergency fund, check out our next video on how to build a 100K portfolio from scratch. And tell me in the comments, do you already have an emergency fund? If not, what's your first goal? I read every reply. Because the sooner you start protecting your money, the sooner you'll start growing it. And trust me, your future self will thank you.